Welcome along, it's another Ladbrokes Social Club. We're back in our Monday slot and we've got lots to get through. In fact, we're going to be joined by a captain of a Premiership club very soon on FaceTime, and we've got a reason to celebrate, so we should start with Danny Caw.
Hey! I don't want to brag, Darryl. I arrived here in a limousine. The technical term is a baller this week. Yes. Bottles of champagne, everything.
Because the treble came in, and I'll come back to that later. Oh, honestly, what a weekend he's had. Stephen Cragen's back with us as well.
Nice to be here again.
And Mark Wilson, manager in the house.
Hello.
You've had a weekend off?
Been brilliant. Needed it.
Enjoyed it. I bet you did. Right, only one place to start, social media-wise, and that's Rangers. A lot of coverage after their victory at Hamilton yesterday, and of all the players, getting some good feedback. Ryan Kent, of course, among them.
Yep.
And Ryan Jack, in fact. Start wherever you like.
Ryan Jack, who has been likened to Xavi, no less, by Forza Papic on Twitter. And he's a guy that's becoming increasingly more important and getting a lot of love on social media week by week from Rangers fans.
Stephen Gerrard picked him out after the game as the one that was the best player in the park again.
I think what helped him is the way Hamilton played. Hamilton only had two centre midfield players and Rangers had three. Yeah. And Ryan Jack was always the overload. You know, so you still have to have the quality and possession of the ball, but he had a bit more freedom than what he would be used to. But ultimately, I just think his distribution and how he controls the game is getting better and better. So, I mean, he's not as good as Xavi, and he's not the best player in the world, but he is improving.
Thankfully, you said that. And it was like shooting practice for him at times in the first half, in fact, and shooting practice as well for Ryan Kent, who I've already mentioned. Yeah. What a goal he scored.
Well, unbelievable. I mean, he just looked a constant threat, and this was, I think, a lot of what Rangers fans saw last year, and it's maybe taken them a wee bit of time to get up to speed, but yesterday he was unstoppable. I mean, a full-back's nightmare playing against a guy like that on that sort of form.
But it was funny because the game was so condensed, Mark. You know, there wasn't a lot of space for probably Rangers to break people down, so that was the game that needed him.
Yeah, that's what you need. That's why you pay what, £7-8 million for these guys, because they can unlock the key. You know,
they needed that as well. That third one in the game, his second in the day, because at that point you just weren't sure.
Hamilton were getting better. You know, they really grew in confidence as the game went on. You just got a sense that Hamilton may have got an equaliser, so I think relief in the end.
What were the fans saying about him?
Understandably, a lot of love for Ryan Kent as well on social media. Ibrox Loyal, a big Rangers account on Twitter, made that more difficult than it should have been, but got the job done. Ryan Kent tore them apart. I think Ryan Kent actually said after the game himself that it might have been a game previously that Rangers might have dropped points in. Yeah. So I think I definitely
kind of pat himself on the back.
I think it might have been a wee bit. And obviously in the bottom tweet there, Alex Ray, friend of the show. Well, friend's a loose term.
Well, he works here.
Aye, exactly. He's here
I'd say a big friend of the show. Best friend.
He sums it up well there. Not the best performance from Gers, however, 3 points in the bag. Kent with a real moment of quality. Lovely piece of skill, followed with a pile driver into the top corner.
He cost £7 million. When we move on to Celtic, one man that cost just £300,000 in Jeremy Frimpong is getting love. I mean, again, he seems to be the one that everyone's picking out.
Darryl, I've said, for a number of weeks now, I think he's the best right back Celtic have got. Now, a lot of people, you're hearing El Hamed's the one, and Frimpong, he's too small, he's too young to go into the big games. I don't see it that way. If you're going into games and you're the right back and picking up man of the match time and time again, then surely you've got to be in the manager's thinking for the cup final.
So even if El Hamed was fit, you think Frimpong anyway should start in that League Cup final?
I'd still play him. I think he's the player that's on form just now. People say defensively, has he been tested? Well, everybody's come up against he's handled. Why would you not play him?
Wonder if he'll start against Rennes midweek. And the fans here?
If I draw your attention to the bottom tweet here, Darryl, Scheme Spaceman.
At Jaggy Tooth.
It's a great handle. But the bottom tweet here, I think this sums it up really well. £300,000 for Frimpong. That is a steal and a half. £300,000. I'm going to go out on a limb since my predictions have been coming up recently. I think he'll be the next big £15-20 million sale. I think he's that good. I think he's absolutely. I think he's so good, honestly.
Young player of the year.
I mean, potential. 18. He's only played 6 pro games.
I mean, that is definitely putting your neck out to think 15-20 million. I mean,
I could come back to haunt
you. I mean, he will get better. No
I'm
doubt.
so confident. I think he's that good, and I agree with Mark. I think cup final coming up if he's fit, I'd throw him in.
I think Neil just likes the security of having a more experienced player for the bigger games.
A more physical player as well.
So it's going to be up to Frimpong just to keep that kind of form up. To convince his manager, listen, put me in, but certainly he's one for the future. Terrific.
James Forrest too.
Absolutely.
Loads of tweets on him.
Plenty of praise for James Forrest, and rightly so. He's enjoying another brilliant season. The Celtic Soccer Show on Twitter, James Forrest a combined 24 goals and assists in 26 matches this season.
That is amazing.
That is incredible. And if I just draw your attention to the bottom tweet again, Kieran Devlin, who I think writes for The Athletic.
He does.
Forrest now just 16 goals short of 100 for Celtic. Only Larsson, Hartson and Griffiths have managed that this
And I
century.
think that's before he got second in the game, by the way. So I think it's even 15
It's
now.
incredible. You know what makes me laugh though? Some Celtic fans still have their reservations about James Forrest.
Surely
I
not
mean,
now.
to do it over the stretch of time he has, how much he contributes, and still some people say he's not enough in
I'll tell
quality.
you, I think others take him for granted as well.
Yeah.
They expect him to score goals, they expect him to have assists. And
Scored
if he has a
good goals
quiet,
again.
and if he has a quiet moment or a quiet game, that's when these people come to the fore and think, you think, enjoy him, respect him. He's a top talent.
Do you think that just on social media there's been a lot of debate almost this season about James Forrest? Do you think he's a genuine Celtic legend, or certainly heading in that direction?
Well, certainly with his trophy haul, with his
I think
goals,
so.
his
He's up there now.
performances.
Yeah. But the length of time he's done it,
Yeah.
you know, coming in as a kid, it looks like he'll be a one-club man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've got to put him down there.
That's what would make him a legend, I think.
One
If he
club
remains,
man.
yeah, just signed a new contract as well, I think,
Yeah.
recently. Another debate on social media is the fact that Lewis Morgan again was in the squad, but Scott Sinclair, who we mentioned on the show last week, wasn't even in the squad. A lot of fans have actually mentioned this and they're kind of bewildered.
It's kind of evoking a lot of debate, Darryl, on social media. We, obviously, in last week's show, we put up the picture of Scott Sinclair looking like an absolute unit.
And we said with Elyounoussi out, we thought he might get his chance.
Yeah, Gary Keeley on Twitter, the top tweet here, no offence, but surely Scott Sinclair is a better player than Lewis Morgan. And Kelly McGeechy down the bottom there actually feel sorry for Scotty Sinclair. Now Lennon needs to get his finger out, as this isn't right. All Scott could have played this game to give him a run. God, I've got to say, Kelly, the grammar could be better here. I'm trying to follow
it's a
this.
struggle.
But she basically says, God knows what's going on. Poor Sinclair has been wasted away.
It begs the question, why did they give him that year extra?
Well, that's the kind of conundrum, isn't it, really? I mean, is he a better player than Lewis Morgan? Yes, he is. But his record tells you that, with goals he scored, the influence he's had in the team. Neil must just not fancy him as a player. It happens sometimes as a manager. You get a player and you think, he's not my cup of tea, I don't really fancy him, I'd rather give someone else an opportunity. That's what management's all about. It's all about opinion, and Neil's opinion is the one that counts.
Busy week for Celtic, of course, as we've already said. They play Rennes and then away to Ross County up in Dingwall next weekend, which we put down as game of the week. What odds stand out for you, Daniel?
Premiership game of the week, so obviously in a 2-horse race, Ross County 20-1 at home.
That's
20 to 1, it's a big number.
It's a big number, but to be fair, if you look, Rangers went up there recently, and I think a lot of people thought Rangers would struggle, and they coasted it, didn't they?
Ross County have struggled, Mark.
Well, they have, but the only thing that makes it tricky for Celtic, coming off the back of that European game and the 12 o'clock kick-off on Sunday, players are then travelling on the Saturday night. I mean, no games are easy.
Makes you wonder how strong Neil Lennon will go on Thursday. Will he rotate? I know he says he wants to stick with the main team, but would you rotate?
Well, he's going to have to prioritise, isn't he?
Yeah.
And understand what is the games. Does Lewis Morgan get a game? Does he bring Scott Sinclair in?
Griffiths.
Does Griffiths get some
the
game
cup
time on
final
Thursday?
ahead as well.
Because you don't want to drop league points.
No.
You'd rather sacrifice a game on Thursday night. Of course, they'd rather win it as well. But they'd rather sacrifice that and pick up points at Ross County. Ideally, of course, to win both.
Yeah.
But he's got to look at players and game load.
As I said, Ross County not won in a while. In fact, they lost again at the weekend, getting back to the matches we've just seen. St Mirren, positive reactions from their fans.
The one that I'd again draw your attention to, Darryl, is the bottom tweet here. Johnston Budd on Twitter, pointing out that 5 points from 13 games last season, when of course they did go on to stay up.
Yeah.
They've got 11 points from 13 games this season, 6 points more at this stage of the campaign. That's quite, for me anyway, I think it's quite a big margin, 6 points more.
Well, that's a good friend of mine, Douglas McNeil. So he'll be delighted he's got his name up on the Ladbrokes Social Club. Yeah.
You know Douglas?
I do indeed.
Good. And the top
Mark will
tweet.
know him as well.
Yes.
Mark will know him as well.
Yeah, Paisley panned up the top as well, mentioning Obika. I think he's becoming a fan's favourite as well, although, of course, if he can get a few more goals, they'll start to really love him. And they play again midweek. In fact, just tomorrow, it's St Mirren against Hibs. Jack Ross heading back to his old club. Some of the odds there, Daniel, do you have them?
Yes, indeed. So let me have just
11 to 5, I think I've got for the home win.
Yep.
Just hearing as well in my ear, it all happens on the Ladbrokes Social Club. 13 to 10, the away win. What do you think?
I think that's going to be a tough one for Jack. I think Hibs have no doubt picked up in the last couple of weeks after Heckingbottoms went, but I think Jim's got St Mirren playing some good stuff. He showed last year, Alloa, how resolute he can make his teams. I think there'll be a tough nut to crack tomorrow,
especially at
St
home.
Mirren. Yeah.
Well, there will be. But that was the balance that Jim was struggling to find, wasn't it? They could be defensively strong, but it was having that threat at the top end of the pitch. So I think a couple of goals on Saturday will certainly have helped.
And just on that one, 21 to 10 the draw, Darryl.
There
you go.
Is that what you're having?
Could be a shout.
Bit the draw for you.
Good value.
Right.
You got one
You
coupon
got
up.
it in.
You got one coupon up. I
think I know all.
the rest of the games.
As for Hibs, it was an excellent result for Jack Ross in his first game in charge at Easter Road. I hate to say it, against Motherwell. I'm sorry.
Right.
But a lot of fans, of course, now right on the bandwagon.
Absolutely. Stephen Watson on Twitter there. I've finally seen Hibs win a game of football. I want Jack Ross to be my stepdad, which
extreme.
Fair, that's quite extreme, but fair enough, Stephen. And the one at the bottom here that I think is quite important, Leashy. The biggest thing I'll take away from today was Jack Ross's substitutes. At a time we needed change, 2-1 up, he changed it. Brought Horgan on, moved Boyle wide right, and brought Mallon on when Allen tired. Stark contrast, kill the game off with Horgan's. Killed the game off.
It's funny because see some Sunderland fans, they were critical of his substitutions, of how he tried to protect games when they were drew 1-1, and you know, so it's amazing how things can turn around.
Maybe he's learned.
Well, I think that's why it was an attraction for Hibs to take him. Yeah. Because he's had a good experience with St Mirren, he's had a bad experience with Sunderland, and I think when you put them both together, you learn so much about yourself, and he's probably improved as a manager.
Other side of it, across the capital. Terrible weekend for Hearts, and Austin McPhee, definitely the social media reaction now is that the Hearts fans, I think a few of them said, look, if he wins again, why not give him a chance? But it's gone the other way now, Daniel.
I almost feel bad for Austin McPhee. It's only his second game, isn't it? But is it third game?
Cup semi, yeah.
Of course, sorry. Matthew Leslie sums it up quite well here. I think that's the end of the Austin McPhee job interview in the bottom tweet there. I feel bad for the guy, but
listen, it was a horror show from Hearts. It's hard to defend that. 16 minutes 3-0 down. Could have probably been anything after that. I mean, as good as Kelly were defensively, Hearts were shocking.
They were.
So
game over early.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well for Austin.
They need to make a decision now.
I just think that performance on Saturday should escalate the manager coming in, because another performance, it was just like Craig Levein.
Of the table.
You know, people were critical of Craig Levein when he was in charge, and that just typified a Craig Levein performance, if you want to call it that. They were flat, they were lifeless, and when they went behind, they had no chance of getting back.
You look at the odds, Daniel Stendhal 4-9 on latest odds from Ladbrokes, and the next one beyond that is Neil Warnock at 5-1. Stephen Robinson, who was the big favourite at 1 point, 8-1, because there's been no conversations. Is that correct?
Well, as
what can you tell us, Stephen?
Well, as far as I know,
beans.
Because I think if there had been contact, Motherwell would have probably announced it, or would have let him go and have a chat.
And he wouldn't be 8-1.
But there's been nothing at all.
So Stendhal looks like a big favourite.
I should say we're always trying to get fans involved in the Ladbrokes Social Club, Darryl, and we've got a Hearts fan got in touch. This is Richard Cobb, big Hearts fan, very active on Twitter. Here's his thoughts.
I think aside from the obvious issues of failing to win on the park, something that's really winding up Hearts fans just now is that it's been 3.5 weeks since Levein lost his job, and the club don't appear to be any further forward to getting a successor. Doesn't appear to be a preferred candidate for the job, and we're now coming up to a busy December. There's 8 games in December. We need to be picking up the points now, and teams around us are picking up points. You know, Hibs obviously got a new manager in place within the space of a week or so. Got off to a winning start as well, so I think it's vital that we get it sorted in the next couple of days.
Look, you can see his frustrations there. I think when the job came up, or Craig Levein lost his job, should I say, then they had the international break.
Yeah.
That's the ideal time, surely, to get someone in. And I understand Anne Budge saying we'll take our time. It's not going to be a rush decision, because it has to be the right decision this time. Yeah. But come on, how long do you leave it before you get someone in?
I think if you're winning games, you can buy yourself a little bit of time. Yeah. They're now joint bottom.
Yeah, maybe that St Mirren game, the home win.
Clouded
things a bit.
Well, it does, because St Mirren have struggled away from home, and you suddenly get carried away a little bit. It was always going to be the next performance of how they would do against Kilmarnock, and any more performances like that, they really will be in a relegation battle.
Glad you mentioned Kilmarnock, because as you know, last week in the show we had Chris Burke on. If you didn't hear him, this is what he had to say.
You need to add goals to your game, Burkie.
If you wouldn't take them off you, Burkie, you'd be playing.
Listen, I can't believe that. If that actually been took off me, has it?
I'm not joking. I went online today just to check it. It definitely says own goal, so I think that's official.
It's nothing to do with me, mate.
Fine. It's fine. Hopefully I can do it again on Saturday if I'm selected.
Well, whatever we said, it worked last week. Michael Stewart, I think, motivated him as well. 2 goals and an assist.
So you're taking credit.
Well,
Chris Burke goes out and has the best half of the season, and it's because of you guys.
Yeah.
You guys should move in the management. What's the you've got down here? Take the grade.
He's in management. And by the way, you took him right out your fantasy team as well, didn't you?
No,
did you? Did you take him out? By the way, so did I.
I had him in.
Take him out as well.
I feel bad. I did the same with Christian Doig during the season as well. I should really learn.
You take them out, they score.
Exactly. But as you can imagine, a lot of praise for Chris Burke on social media. Adam, second tweet there, Chris Burke and Fire of the Day. Charles Cameron, superb stuff at Rugby Park, absolute cruise control, and Chris Burke, unreal, what a player. And if Whelan is the first choice centre mid for Ireland, Power and Dicker must be due a chance, which is not a bad shout.
Do you know what, that's a good, I was at the game, and I thought the two of them were terrific. I thought Power and Dicker, just the way they broke the game up, just the simplicity of their play was terrific.
Yeah.
And Chris Burke was sensational, he really was. Against young Aaron Hickey,
Yeah.
who everyone's got big hopes for, and Chris taught him a lesson or two, that's for sure.
He's had a couple of games this season, Aaron Hickey, that's a wee bit.
But he's only a kid, isn't
I
he?
know, of
He's a
course.
kid. He's learning.
Rangers home
learning.
as well. I think he struggled a little
yeah.
bit. Anyway, we must move on. The Sunday game, the big talking point was the handball. I mean, he almost caught it. And it looked as if Aberdeen were about to go 2-0 up as well. I mean, this is a game-changing moment. How on earth, Mark, did they miss that, the officials?
I've no idea. I mean, officials, we always say it, have got a really difficult job, and some decisions are tough to call, but that's not tough to call. You can't say that that's a difficult one for them. I mean, Niall McGinn then should put the chance away after it, but nevertheless, it's an absolute shocker. You can see why Derek McInnes would be fuming at that.
And of course, it's led to frustration from the Aberdeen fans.
Aye. I mean, there's no denying it was an absolute shocker, but it doesn't seem to have bought Derek McInnes much leeway on social media. Daniel, the top tweet there, summing it up. Honestly, what's the point in the death penalty? Just make them rewatch Aberdeen St Johnstone. Discuss Dandies, the bottom tweet there, which I think really sums up a lot of the frustrations on social media. Bottom of the league, 9 men, an utterly embarrassing result and performance which just adds to the rest of them this season. Nothing else you can really say. Don't even dare mention the penalty, McInnes. Pathetic.
The tone has changed a bit this morning, though. I think you've got some more tweets for us. You've seen the boardroom change.
I did.
Dave Cormack putting more money into the club as well. Stuart Milne's stepping down. And I think the suggestion is all this money, this partnership as well with Atlanta, the MLS, it actually might lead to something quite special.
Well, it certainly looks that way, but it isn't going to happen overnight.
No.
I've seen people saying that they will challenge the old firm, there'll be investment. That isn't going to happen in the next few months. That's got to be a plan that the money drips in to give yourself an opportunity in the future. But I think fresh investment, fresh leadership, fresh drive, all that just brings something new about a football club. And Aberdeen are a good club, no doubt about it.
As a fan, I would like to know what the partnership exactly means. We've heard a lot of these clubs having partnerships. You don't really see players readily coming. I'm not exactly sure what it means, but I suppose we'll see.
We will see. And we'll also see and hear more about your treble now. This is your moment.
So, as I've already pointed out, the treble came in last week. We've got another treble this week, and if you didn't get on it last week, this is your chance. Right, I'm going to start with a nice easy one. Aberdeen to beat St Mirren at home. Aberdeen, they've only lost once at home all season, and that was to Celtic. St Mirren have lost every single game away from home. They concede more than 2 goals per game away from home, and that's nice and simple. Aberdeen, good value. Right, next up, we've got Hibs versus Kilmarnock, and I'm going with both teams to score. 86% of Hibs games end in both teams scoring. Kelly in good form as well. The goals are going to flow Easter Road. Both teams to score in that one. I'm going to finish with Motherwell to beat St Johnstone at home. I know it sounds a bit silly. Motherwell haven't won in 3 games. They're not going to go 4. St Johnstone, rock bottom of the league, conceding 3 goals on average away from home. Motherwell home in all over it. Normally you get 5-1, but Ladbrokes have boosted this to 6-1. And if you didn't watch last week, my treble came in. Get on it. Motherwell to win, Craigs. What do you think? It's coming in it.
Well, Motherwell haven't had a great record against St Johnstone over the years. But yeah, I'm still going to go for a home win. I think just their home form recently has been good.
It's not exactly
And they've been
scientific, Mark,
free-flowing,
but
so-
but to be fair, St Johnstone haven't won away all season. I think I'm right in saying.
Motherwell are a club that when someone hasn't scored for 4 years and a team has never won away, it always seems weirdly Motherwell fans will tell you. But I'm going to back it this time.
Okay, good. And
Smart man.
I've got a FaceTime caller hopefully in just a moment. Before we do that, do you want to put the fixtures up
Absolutely.
for us the coming weekend? Mark, I know you can't bet, of course, in a
never
job,
bet.
but I'd love you to pick a couple of winners for us.
Okay.
Just for fun. What can you tell us?
Right, listen, I would go with Aberdeen. I think Jack Ross will get his second win at home to Kelly. Livy Hamilton, that's got to be a draw all day long, and I'll go with you. Motherwell will win that one at the end. Yep.
Stephen?
Yeah, I would put £5 of Daniel's money just for half on the Ross County at
Oh, he's just
20-1.
made money.
Yeah, I would just waste some of his money. Certainly Aberdeen will be strong. You'd think they'll have to put in a big performance. Good news, of course, with the takeover and the kind of different leadership. Hibs at home will be good under Jack, I'd imagine. Livingston Hamilton, I think that's a tough one to call.
Can I just check that none of you are backing St Mirren? Quickly, say it quickly before anyone answers, please.
Definitely not.
Right.
Yeah, I'll go with Mark.
Hopefully, Stephen McGinn's with us on the Ladbrokes Social Club. Stephen, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Good.
How you doing?
Good man,
Good
good. Excellent. We've just been looking ahead to all the games next weekend, and we've been looking back at the weekend just gone. You guys got a big win, didn't you? A late goal as well. That must have felt good.
Yeah, it was brilliant. At the end of the season, these games came down to the fine margins, and Ross County actually did it to us up in Dingwall, so it was nice to repay the favour in Paisley.
Yeah, that must have been a long journey home that day after the one you lost, but 3 points on the board, and at home again, where home comforts are helping.
Yeah, we've been really good at home. Don't want to jinx it before tomorrow night, but It's something we're really pleased with, and nobody's made it easy for us. And that was the first goal in play, apart from the Barisic free kick we've conceded as well. So something we're looking to maintain, and it'll be big for us if we can keep that up through the season. It'll be massive.
I'm happy you mentioned the next game to come, which of course against Hibs. Jack Ross coming back. I'm sure he'll get a great reception.
Yeah, he does. He was huge for this football club, and other than tomorrow night, we all wish him well. Everyone had a fantastic relationship with him, and we know how good a manager he is, and how much he'll kick Hibs on. But we also want to halt a wee mini revival, and it's tracks tomorrow night.
Of course, you want to focus on yourselves, but I've read a lot that you had said and written in the past about your old boss. I mean, he was a big influence on you, and of course, I think he made you club captain, Jack Ross, didn't he? A big reason you came back.
Yeah, I've got a lot to thank him for. I was probably hit a wee bit in my career where I didn't really know what I wanted next, and probably with the club and with him being the manager, it was just the right fit for me, and I just wanted a real bug back for the game, and he gave me that. As soon as he brought me in as club captain, and it was a hell of a journey. We went on from the bottom of the championship, and I'll always be grateful for him, and I absolutely love playing for him, and as did all the boys here. I'm sure everyone at the club's looking forward to seeing him tomorrow.
We've got some questions in the room. I'm going to go round the guys. Who wants to go first?
Listen, I'm just wondering, you said about Jack Ross, big influence in your career. Of course, Jim Goodwin worked with Jack at Alloa, or worked under him. Do you see, and they've took a similar path, managerial kind of, do you see a similar style on the training ground between both of them, or both similar characters in terms of the way they manage?
They've got their own kind of different personalities and stuff like that, but there's a lot of similarities in terms of the standards around the place. The training, the way we train, everything's quite similar. And some of the traits maybe Jack did, the manager here is took on, but they're different. They're very different, but I would agree the standards and everything, the demands about the place are probably at the level that Jack had left them at.
Stephen, I just want to take you back a little bit, because you mentioned the home form being so good. It must be a big frustration that when you go away from home you haven't managed to pick up a point yet. Is there a specific reason, do you think?
But if you look at some of the away games, I think we're well beaten at Motherwell. But in the other games, there's been small margins, really small margins. I mean, that last minute goal at Dingwall, when you're just wanting to get down the road with a point, missed chances in other games. I mean, first day at Easter Road, I thought we were excellent. Could easily, if we scored first on the day, we could have easily won that game. So it's something that in this 4-day period, with back-to-back home games, we weren't allowed to talk about. Not taking a point away from home, but yes, definitely something we're talking about, and it's something we have to improve on.
I think also this year you have 11 points, is that right? From the same amount of games. Last year you had only 5 points, so you effectively you're ahead of where you should be. So I'm guessing you'd like to try and push up towards the middle of the table, towards top 6 possibly.
Well, that's the dream.
Yeah, I think someone actually just mentioned it as a chance to go 7 tomorrow, right. With a win. So but I think that shows you the nature of the league. That's the way it'll be this season. I mean, St Johnstone were bottom of the league, and then with a back-to-back win, I think they kicked on to the 8th, and there's very little between a lot of the teams down there. And something we talked about when we got our win against St Johnstone last week, that you need back-to-back. You need to put runs together to push on in this league, and something we need to try and look to do tomorrow night.
Hi Stephen, we ask our watchers on Instagram for questions, and a few of them we sent in. A kind of raging theme has been about your brother John. Joe Bogie here is asking, when John gets his £100 million move to Man United, how much is signing on for you due? Is it 10%, 20%?
I've already said if that ever happens, I'll just get down to his driver.
Fair enough.
I tell you what though, he is flying at the moment, club and country, isn't he? And I know obviously he's playing again tonight.
Yeah, looking forward to the game tonight. Huge one for them at home under the lights at Villa Park. Yeah, it's great to see him doing so well, and at the minute he's kind of got that feeling where he just feels like he's going to score every time he goes in the park. And I think to be fair, Dean Smith pushing him on into that kind of advanced position is really taking his game to the next level. And I thought he was outstanding for Scotland in 2 games. I know I'm biased, but especially the second game, at times Naismith was the one dropping back and he was the one knocking it down to him. So they look to develop a real good partnership. And as I said, he's just in his career, obviously we follow him closely. Every time he moves to that higher level, he just seems to get better and better. And I don't know what he does, because I wish I'd be able to do that as well.
Listen, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it. I'll let you get on with training or whatever else you're doing next. Thank you very much. Cheers. All the best, Stephen. Cheers. Thank you. There you go. You didn't back them to win next weekend, but I tell you what, you can tell there's a bit of positivity right now, isn't there?
Well, there is. Listen, they know they're always going to be in and around the bottom, you know, but it is that back-to-back wins. You know, you look at the teams around the bottom, it's win one, lose two. If you can get 2 or 3 wins together, he's right, suddenly you can get yourself away from trouble and the confidence seems to go. But, you know, it's just so refreshing to hear him talking about his brother and about football, just enjoying himself, which is nice.
And of course, we're always keeping an eye out on Scots that play down south.
Absolutely.
John playing tonight, so we'll watch him closely. Other ones, though, in the headlines again this weekend, Kenny McLean. What a performance for Norwich.
2-0 win at Goodison Park. And as you say, Kenny McLean getting a lot of love in social media. Charlie, the top tweet there, Norwich more than deserved that. Really good game for a change. Kenny McLean doing just dandy too. And I think he was. I think you watched it, Darryl, didn't you?
I saw extended highlights. He was brilliant, and actually, if you put his name in Twitter, you'll get hundreds of positive tweets. So he did really well. Kieran Tierney had a day which was a sort of up and down day, because he did give away a penalty, but on what was another sort of bad match for Arsenal, because they dropped points at home again, and there's an Emery out campaign going on right now. When you look at their players, he was the one that was actually coming up with the most positive tweets.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all. I think we all knew how good a player he was. You know, it's just the kind of snobbery when our players go to England, they're surprised by how good these guys are. Like, they've never played football in their life before.
And he's showing up well in a team that are not doing all that well at the moment, and in the defence, it's not defending well.
Exactly. I imagine he gets 1 or 2 other good players around about him. I'm not saying the Arsenal players are terrible, but
the fans will
a
say they're
right
not good
system or 1 or 2 that can make a real difference. I think he'll be a standout for Arsenal in years to come.
I think you're right. Mark hits the nail on the head when he says about almost the English snobbery. That I saw a few tweets talking about, what a gem we've found. This guy's been playing in the Champions League International. But LT Arsenal, a really big Arsenal account on Twitter, that ball from Tierney's top quality. Best part about him is that he can produce that kind of ball at high frequency. What a talent. I think he's definitely one of the few bright spots.
And can I just say, we welcome an English audience on this. Please watch every single week. That's tens of thousands gone there.
It's funny to know who we are.
Sorry about that.
You found 4 gems here, there you go, is that for you?
Right, onwards, we'll move on. Right, John Fleck, another one, Sheffield United. An amazing game against Manchester United, as you know, 3-3 in the end. Drama at the end, Mark, but so much positivity for John Fleck.
It was great. It just looked like it was a real driving force every time they went forward or there was a tackle to be had. He was there. It was sensational, and the drama at the end was something else. I mean, I actually don't know if it's good or bad, because I felt sorry that they couldn't really celebrate, but then when it came through and it was a goal, the joy it brought. But
McBurney as well, of course. McBurney with that late equaliser. VAR said it didn't hit his hand. Thank goodness from Sheffield United's point of view.
Well, Steve Clarke would be the happiest man, because he's now getting players playing in the top flight of English football. His scores became stronger. You know, there's some boys didn't make the Scotland trip, but these guys are going to be all pushing come March.
It's mad to think, you see the reaction on social media that John Fleck, is it 2 caps he's got now? Something like that.
Played the last 2 prior to this international break.
Russia was his first game, so it's 3, I think.
Yeah.
But even that's pretty, it's mad, 28, and he's only got 3 caps.
It is. We've already mentioned a bit about the midweek European games. I've mentioned Celtic v Rennes, which of course, if Celtic go on and they can win that game, you know, they're looking good to win the group. The odds on that, Daniel, 4-7, is that right, for a home win for Celtic?
Celtic 4-7 to win at home, 16-5 the draw, 9-2 if you fancy a Rennes away win. Rennes beaten at the weekend by Dijon, who were keen as mustard.
Oh, he's gone with it.
Sorry. But they're obviously eliminated already, so Celtic big favourites.
Yeah, they might change their team around. So, as I say, a big chance for Celtic for 3 points. Massive game for Rangers away in Rotterdam. If they win, it's looking like they're going to go through. Let's not get into the maths.
No, we'll not. It's not my strong point. But certainly, you would think 4 points over these next 2 games would be enough to put them through. I think the first half against Feyenoord Ibrox, they were terrific. They really blew them away. Of course, second half Feyenoord come into the game, but
it's Dick Advocaat's Feyenoord now.
Well, it is, of course. So all the emotion of ex-Rangers and whatever have you. But Steven Gerrard's side will need to play better than what they did yesterday. He will know that. But I think getting Ryan Kent back on form, him being the key man, will be huge on Thursday night.
Should say just the odds on that as well, Darryl. 29-20 for Feyenoord to win at home, 12-5 the draw, 7-4 if you fancy a Rangers away win. I actually think that's good odds, but you should say since Dick Advocaat came back, they're unbeaten in 4 games, 2 wins and 2 draws, which includes a draw at home. to young boys in the Europa League. It's going to be an interesting.
Definitely better at home. A friend of the show, we've already mentioned one earlier on, but one who is as well, Rory Butcher, who you know well, British Touring Car Championship driver, and he's been celebrating this week. In fact, he's been an awards do, and he's won the Independent Drivers Champion and the Jack Sears trophies.
Brilliant.
You know him well.
Listen, he's a great guy. We've said in this show before, he took us around the track blindfolded, so, you know, he put his life in our hands, but well done, Rory, because fantastically talented sportsman, and congratulations to him.
Ladbrokes always back him, of course. We're delighted to see him going well.
Get a size of that trophy.
I know.
That's mental.
You need a big,
Size as you,
you need a big house to get that trophy in, don't you?
I walked right into that, didn't I?
Right, before we finish, 1, 2, 3 bet.
Absolutely.
Who's in it this week?
So this week we've got Southampton, Watford, Norwich versus Arsenal, and Leicester v Everton. So if anyone's not familiar, 3 games, 3 correct scores, you get £100 cash prize. 1 correct score for a £1 free bet. 2 gets you a fiver, and say £300 cash.
No one's
prize.
been close yet. Would one of you two like to hazard a guess at these scores?
3 homes.
Yeah.
3 homes.
And the scores?
I'll go 1-0, 2-0, 2-1.
Bold.
And you think Southampton, Watford, both of their managers under all sorts
Absolutely.
of pressure.
Huge
Some
game.
sort of win, yeah. I'd go for a 1-1 draw. I'd go for a 2-1 Arsenal win, and Leicester to beat Everton 3-0.
Apparently, if you get it right, we're going to give you £1,000
Oh,
cash
really?
prize.
Right.
No, not the Chad.
more time.
Not the Chad. That might be more than the fee.
I want
Who
to change my
knows?
mind. I want to change my mind.
Guys, thank you very much. We're out of time, but do get in touch next week on the hashtag.
Hashtag Ladbrokes Social Club, and obviously at Ladbrokes PFF on Instagram, Lads PFF on Twitter.
And we'll have fantasy football separate again this week, so look out for that in the social media channels. We're back with you next week on Tuesday in the Social Club, so we'll see you then. Bye-bye for now.